different starting lineup for Bob Gainey tonight than he had in Chicago Stadium the other night. Now the Hawks able to keep the puck in the Dallas zone, but not for long as Paul Broughton. And off the play, we have Lemieux grappling with Hatcher. And as Dale suggested, early discipline being handed out here by Don Koharski. Meanwhile, Chelios is wrestling with Gilchrist. You'll remember Chelios roughed him up late in the game. And now here they go. Chelios got in a couple of right hands. Switches to the left. Brett Gilchrist got slapped around by Chelios at Chicago Stadium. Tries to get some revenge here, and he's getting the short end of the battle. Chelios landing another solid right. The linesmen are occupied elsewhere. Only Swede Knox is in the area. He has to wait for help. As Hatcher is hurting his teammate here. Hatcher won't go to the penalty box. And Chelios is giving it to Gilchrist. Now Chelios has had his jersey pulled up over his head and off. And Chris Chelios gave Brent Gilchrist more than he bargained for there. As the linesmen finally come between them.
The initial altercation was between Lemieux and Hatcher, and that was going to be called right away. And then well away from that altercation in the corner to the right of Moog. It started in the neutral zone with Gilchrist and Chelios, and Gilchrist got worked over quite nicely by Chelios.
He hits the Hawk line in full stride. A backhander and a save by Belfour. Smith finally got a piece of Modano, and the backhander a fairly weak one. And now Churla crashing in behind the Hawk net. And we have a big gathering there.
Churla, well after the whistle came in, and there was no harm, no foul. He comes in and tries to stir it up well after the whistle on a power play.
Kane loose to Murphy over the line. He drops it to Wilkinson, moving in, shooting. And Moog made the save in traffic and held on. Now Roenick. It's hog-tied by Hatcher. Now people start pushing and shoving. A face full of glove for Russell from Hatcher. Here's a steal by Murphy. Turns in the offensive zone, got rid of a check. Murphy trying to move in. The second man got to him. Roenick holds it into the deep slot, centered it. Just too far for Murphy in front of the goal. At the far point, Chelios. Here's a long shot, deflected wide. There's going to be a Dallas penalty.
Ledyard with a cheap shot. That's a cheap shot. That could possibly be a 5-minute penalty. You tell me that's not as bad as a spear?
But the Hawks able to hold in. Murphy far dot. Top of the ring to Chelios, feeding Weinrich. They play catch. Chelios now shoots. He scores! Over to the far side it goes. Held it by Tenorti. Shooting. Belfour the save. Fully outstretched to his left, and he gave no rebound. And again, pushing and shoving around the net. Modano was there. Hawks trying to move him out of the way. And behind the play, Tenorti getting tangled up with Smith. Now they're in a stare down, and off come the gloves. Smith and Tenorti now come together. They each landed a very short right, trying to neutralize one another. And Smith got in a good right, then so did Tenorti. Two big, tough defensemen locked up here. Steve Smith and Mark Tenorti wrestling up against the boards. And Tenorti got in a couple of short rights. Smith trying to wrestle him to the ice, and now the linesmen move in, having seen enough. And Steve Smith, it appears, may have gotten a little ding around the left eye. 2.5 left in the first. 1-0 Chicago on the Blackhawk Network.
A penalty-filled first period. Totally expected. Joe Murphy and Tenorti had words. Tenorti was slashed by Murphy, and then Tenorti gave Chelios a bit of a whack. And then Smith came in and gave him a shove. Tenorti gave him an elbow. They dropped their gloves and went at it. And they're both gone for 5 minutes apiece.
Chera rolling it back into the Dallas zone. Lemieux. A rough ride in the near corner from 2 stars. Then Brent Sutter won the puck, got it to the line. Weinrich a long shot. Nice and a rebound, Lemieux. And Moog kicked the goal off the moorings, going to his left. Meanwhile, Lemieux got a jolt just as the whistle sounded from Churla. And let's see what Koharski has here, if anything. in the last minute and a half of play is center. Here's McPhee back, or I should say Ledyard over the line. Center and one. Deflected. They score! And to get around to check. He beat one man. Now McPhee 2-on-1. Looks for Broughton. Oh, the pass just sailed up over his sticker. He would have been in alone. Now Chelios battles on the near board. Now taken down by Broughton. They battle heavily. Finally McPhee got a rough ride from Roenick.
Broughton ties up Chelios, and Chelios leveled from behind, and then Broughton eludes a hard check from Smith, and then Roenick comes in and gives McPhee a whack in the face.
Side got hammered by Churla. Here's Tenorti. It's got in a save by Belfour, and he hangs on.
Weinrich's trying to go around one check, but Churla had him labeled and knocked him off the puck. Tenorti walks in, and Belfour makes a save, and contact made. Churla and Belfour. Check coming back from surgery on his back. A long way to get back into game shape after missing a lot of that time. Played 3 games in a row on the weekend with Indianapolis.
Now right off the draw, Horacek took a poke at Churla. Finally Churla comes back at him as they wrestle in front of the Hawk benches. Soon as that puck was dropped, Horacek threw the gloves off. Now here they go, and Churla gets the edge as Horacek fell backward. Nice game to make your NHL debut after back surgery. You know it's going to be a physical contest, and Horacek tried to stir it up there with Churla. And not a lot of damage done either way. Churla might have gotten a slight decision. Chris Chelios with room to center, then puts Roenick over the Dallas line. He stepped away from a hit from Tenorti, who then made contact with his own man. They both hit the deck. 5 minutes or less of extra time, and the crowd alive here in Reunion Arena. Here's Belfour tangling with the forechecking Churla. Dirk Graham on the left side hammers it into the Dallas zone. In the far corner, it's taken by Lemieux. Tenorti steps into him. Now a pane of glass. Look out. Partitions have come loose. Now Tenorti and Lemieux get the sticks going. And then Tenorti starts swinging away at Jocelyn Lemieux.
He might be gone. Well, it's only a minute 41 left anyway, but he started swinging first. It'd be interesting to see the call. Will be additional 2 and 5. But the Stars will end up losing their top defenseman for the last minute 41.
Meanwhile, there were all sorts of things coming out from the glass right in that far corner. The partition might have broken. I'm not sure what happened, but 2 different stanchions came loose and went crashing to the ice. Somehow the glass did not topple over on either players or fans.
Customer Tenorti and Lemieux bang and crash in the corner. Donald with a good hit on route to, then Tenorti, who takes a piece of everybody. They have a stare down. Lemieux slashes him. Tenorti takes a poke at him. They both take pokes at each other, and away they go. Smith and Chelios have switched positions so that they can be on their forehands in case it comes to them. Better angles to shoot the puck.
Sutter against Evison. Sutter got the draw, and Chelios was ready to tee it up when Graham stole it away. Shoots, he scores! Graham! A turnaround wrist shot from the blue line, eluding Andy Moog into the top corner of the net. Passed him on the stick side. The Blackhawk captain with his team leading 5th game-winning goal of the year. And with 1:14 to go in OT, the Blackhawks win it.
That's Sutter winning the draw, and I bet you if it doesn't go in, Chelios would have had something to say to him. He was ready to pull the trigger, but Graham stepped in front, circled to the blue line, and wristed one over Moog under the crossbar and into the net.